Should you take a Uber or Lyft versus an ambulance to the ER? Find out right now. Hey everyone, Chris here from Realridesharestories. On this channel, we do a lot of different things within the rideshare industry, so if you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. But before we get started, if you have a crazy Uber or Lyft experience, whether you're a passenger or a driver, record it, send it my way, and maybe we can feature you on the channel. So let's talk about every few months or so, it seems that news articles or the internet news or even on TV, you'll see something where it'll talk about passengers are taking Uber or Lyft rides to the hospital instead of ambulance rides. And I'm just going to answer the question flat out right now. Should you take a Uber or Lyft ride to the hospital instead of an ambulance? The answer is no. In fact, the actual answer is hell no. Don't do it. Don't risk your life or your well-being on saving on the ambulance ride to get to the hospital. Yes, it's expensive, but you know what? They're trained professionals that are there to help you. They're there to make sure they're treating you whatever way you need to. They're going to stabilize you, and they're going to get you to the hospital as quick as they can. And yes, it's going to cost a pretty penny to get there and do that, but it's definitely going to be a lot better than the option if you have some issue going on, especially during a ride. Now, most rideshare drivers do not have the experience needed to be able to help you in a medical situation. Some have a little bit of training, maybe first aid training and that, and the other thing, but not something that an EMT has, that they're technicians in their field. They train constantly. They're continuing their education. Call an ambulance. It's that simple, especially in an emergency situation. If you need to get to the hospital and minutes and seconds actually matter, call an ambulance. Quick thing is, if you call an Uber or Lyft ride and there's some sort of emergency that happens during the ride itself, we pull over and call 911, wait for the ambulance to get there to begin with. So it's not going to be beneficial to you because it's going to be more time. Also, when you call an ambulance right away, you don't have to worry about that time where it takes for an Uber or Lyft driver to get to your location, pick you up, and take you to the spot where maybe we have to call the ambulance to begin with, and then wait for the ambulance to get there. All that's just a bunch of time. So if you call the ambulance right away, they're going to come, start treating you, start stabilizing you, make sure you're okay, get your stats, all that good stuff, so they can relay it to the doctors. Not only that, when you get to the hospital, if you use an Uber or Lyft and you get to the hospital and you're checking yourself into the ER, you probably are going to be waiting quite a bit of time to get in. But if you are brought in by the ambulance, you are going to be taken in immediately, which means you're going to be treated immediately because that's considered an emergent situation. So, it's going to definitely be better for you to get there, especially when minutes and seconds can make a real difference. And again, if there's any issues that happen during the ride itself, we got to pull over and then call 911 to begin with anyways. And like I say, most drivers do not have that experience. Don't do it on yourself just to save a few dollars. It's just not a good idea. It's really not going to be beneficial in any way. Now, when you can call an Uber or Lyft, if you're going to follow-up appointments or if you're going to doctor's appointments at the hospital or whatever, that's fine. That's not an emergency situation. That's just being checked up. That's just, getting things taken care of that might need follow-ups and whatnot. So that's fine. That's by all means okay. But when you're in an emergency situation, call a professional, call an ambulance, and get there safe, get there alive, and live another day. So this brings me to my question of the day. If you are a passenger and you called an Uber or Lyft to come get you to take you to the hospital instead of an EMT or an ambulance, why? What was the reason? And then also drivers, if you've ever taken a passenger to the hospital in an emergency situation, or did you have to pull over and dial 911? Comment below, let me know the situation and the story of what happened. I'd love to hear from you guys. But wrapping up, yes, definitely call 911 for any type of emergency if you need to get to the hospital for an emergency situation. If you want to use Uber or Lyft to get to the hospital to visit family or friends that are there, to get follow-up appointments, that's fine. As long as it's not emergent situations, then by all means, use Uber or Lyft. But in an emergency situation, always dial 911, call an ambulance, let them get there, and be safe and live another day. So that's the end of today's video. Hope you guys learned something about emergency situations and Uber or Lyft. Best thing to do, like I say, call 911. Do not call Uber or Lyft for that. As always, never drink and drive. Always tip your drivers, and we'll see you next time.